It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius, they tell you to find yourself. That's a lie. You aren't lost car keys. You aren't buried treasure. You don't need to be discovered. You need to be built. Society wants you passive, consuming, searching for validation outside yourself. They sell you comfort, distractions, and the illusion of choice. They want you docile. We forge ourselves in the fire of discipline, in the cold of solitude, in the face of relentless opposition. We understand the truth. The only way out is through. The only way to win is to wage war against our own weaknesses. The world is a battlefield, and the first battle is always within. The enemy is not out there. It's the voice in your head that tells you to quit. It's the fear that paralyzes you. It's the doubt that whispers insidious lies. These are not external forces. They are weaknesses you have allowed to fester, vulnerabilities you have cultivated through inaction and self-deception. Most people are slaves to their emotions, puppets dancing to the tune of their impulses. They react, we act. They are driven by feelings, we are guided by principles. They seek pleasure, we pursue purpose. Consider the man who succumbs to anger. He lashes out, burns bridges, and destroys everything around him. Is he in control? No, he is controlled. His anger is the master and he is the servant. Now consider the man who feels the same rage but channels it, focuses it, and uses it as fuel to achieve his goals. He is the master of his emotions, not the other way around. That is the difference between the weak and the strong. The weak are controlled by their inner world, the strong control it. They preach self-acceptance. We demand self-improvement. Acceptance of flaws is not an excuse for complacency. It's a starting point for transformation. Recognize your shortcomings, understand your weaknesses, and then relentlessly work to overcome them. Do not wallow in self-pity, but rise to the challenge of becoming the best version of yourself. This is not about vanity or ego. It's about unlocking your potential and living a life of purpose and meaning. The path to mastery is paved with relentless self-reflection, brutal honesty, and unwavering discipline. The comfortable life is a cage. It lulls you into a false sense of security, weakens your resolve, and blinds you to the true nature of reality. It's a slow, insidious form of self-destruction. We reject this path. We embrace the discomfort, the challenge, the struggle. We know that growth comes from pushing our limits, confronting our fears, and venturing into the unknown. The wilderness is where true character is forged. They want you to believe that happiness is a destination. It's not. Happiness is a byproduct of a life lived with purpose and integrity. It's the quiet satisfaction that comes from overcoming obstacles, achieving goals, and contributing something meaningful to the world. It's the feeling of knowing that you are living up to your potential, that you are making a difference, that you are not wasting your time on this earth. The mind is a battlefield. Every thought, every emotion, every impulse is a potential weapon or a potential weakness. Learn to control your thoughts, master your emotions, and harness your impulses. Become the architect of your own mind. Build a fortress of resilience, a sanctuary of clarity, a powerhouse of will. Only then can you truly be free. Only then can you truly live. The illusion of control is a dangerous trap. Many believe they are steering their lives, making conscious decisions, when in reality, they are merely puppets of their subconscious programming. Years of societal conditioning, ingrained habits, and unresolved traumas dictate their actions, their reactions, and ultimately, their destiny. To break free from this predetermined path requires a ruthless self-assessment, a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths, and the unwavering dedication to reprogram your own mind. It's about dismantling the false self, brick by brick, and constructing a new identity founded on conscious intention and unwavering self-discipline. This isn't a passive process. It's an active war against the forces that seek to keep you enslaved. The pursuit of external validation is a fool's errand. Chasing fleeting moments of approval from others is a recipe for perpetual dissatisfaction and insecurity. The world is fickle, opinions are subjective, and external circumstances are constantly shifting. To anchor your sense of self-worth to such unstable foundations is to build your house on sand. True strength comes from within, from an unshakable belief in your own abilities, from a clear understanding of your values, and from the unwavering pursuit of your own goals, regardless of external praise or criticism. This internal compass is your guiding star, leading you through the storms of life, ensuring that you stay true to your purpose. Emotions are not your enemy, but uncontrolled emotions are a destructive force. Suppressing your feelings is akin to building a dam. The pressure will eventually build to a breaking point, unleashing a torrent of negativity and destruction. The key is to learn to observe your emotions without judgment, to understand their origins, and to channel their energy into productive action. Anger can be a powerful motivator, driving you to overcome obstacles and fight for what you believe in. Fear can be a valuable warning signal, alerting you to potential dangers and prompting you to take necessary precautions. But these emotions must be tempered with reason, guided by wisdom, and directed towards constructive ends. Master your emotions, and they will become your allies. Let them master you, and they will become your destroyers. The comfort zone is a beautiful prison. It offers temporary respite from the challenges of life, a false sense of security, and the illusion of happiness. But within its walls, potential withers, dreams die, and the spirit atrophies. To truly live is to constantly push beyond your comfort zone, to embrace the unknown, to confront your fears, and to relentlessly pursue growth. This requires a conscious decision to step into the arena, to risk failure, to endure discomfort, and to embrace the struggle. It's a path fraught with challenges, but it's the only path that leads to true fulfillment and lasting satisfaction. The greatest rewards lie just beyond the boundaries of your comfort zone. Dare to reach for them. Doubt is a cancer of the mind, slowly eroding confidence and paralyzing action. It whispers insidious lies, magnifying weaknesses and obscuring strengths. It thrives in the shadows of uncertainty, feeding on fear and insecurity. To combat doubt requires a conscious and relentless effort to challenge its validity, to replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations, and to focus on past successes. Build a fortress of self-belief, brick by brick, by celebrating small victories, learning from failures, and constantly reinforcing your capabilities. Doubt may never be completely eradicated, but it can be controlled, contained, and ultimately rendered powerless. The external world is a reflection of your inner world. If your mind is chaotic, your life will be chaotic. If your mind is peaceful, your life will be peaceful. To change your external circumstances, you must first change your internal state. This requires a commitment to self-awareness, a willingness to confront your own flaws, and the unwavering dedication to cultivate positive thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. By mastering your inner world, you gain the power to shape your external reality, to create the life you desire, and to become the person you were meant to be. The journey begins within. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's the unwavering commitment to doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel, regardless of the obstacles, and regardless of the temptations that may arise. Discipline is not about restriction or deprivation. It's about freedom. It's about freeing yourself from the shackles of procrastination, the limitations of laziness, and the tyranny of instant gratification. Cultivate discipline through small, consistent actions, gradually increasing the intensity and duration of your efforts. The more you practice discipline, the stronger it becomes, until it transforms from a burden into a habit, and from a habit into a way of life. Every setback is an opportunity in disguise. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone to success. Embrace your failures, learn from your mistakes, and use them as fuel to propel you forward. Each time you fall, you gain valuable knowledge, you develop resilience, and you strengthen your resolve. The path to mastery is paved with setbacks, but it's the ability to overcome those setbacks that ultimately defines your character and determines your destiny. View every challenge as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become a stronger, more capable version of yourself. Your potential is limitless. The only limitations that exist are those you impose upon yourself. Break free from the constraints of limiting beliefs, societal expectations, and self-doubt. Embrace the possibility of greatness and dare to pursue your dreams with unwavering passion and relentless determination. The world needs your unique talents, your unique perspective, and your unique contribution. Don't allow fear or insecurity to hold you back from fulfilling your potential. Unleash your inner power and transform your dreams into reality. The time is now. Imagine two traders on Wall Street, both starting with the same capital, the same access to information, and the same market opportunities. One, driven by fear and greed, makes impulsive decisions, chasing quick profits and panicking at the first sign of loss. He's constantly glued to the screen, reacting emotionally to every market fluctuation, letting his anxiety dictate his strategy. He overtrades, takes unnecessary risks, and ultimately loses a significant portion of his capital. He blames the market, blames his bad luck, blames everyone but himself for his failure. He's a victim of his own undisciplined mind, a slave to his emotions, and a pawn in the game he thought he was playing. He allowed the chaos of the market to penetrate and corrupt his inner world, turning his potential weapon into a self-destructive force. He didn't master his mind, and his mind, therefore, destroyed his opportunity. This trader represents the vast majority, the individuals who are controlled by external forces because they have abdicated control of their internal landscape. They are reactive, predictable, and ultimately destined for mediocrity or failure. Their internal state is a mirror reflecting the external volatility, amplifying the noise and obscuring any signal. They are unable to discern opportunity from danger, overwhelmed by the constant bombardment of information and emotions. Their minds are a battlefield, and they are losing the war. The other trader, however, possesses a different kind of strength. He's calm, composed, and disciplined, approaching the market with a strategic mindset and unwavering focus. He has a well-defined trading plan, based on thorough research and rational analysis. He doesn't let emotions cloud his judgment, sticking to his plan regardless of market volatility. He understands that losses are inevitable, but he manages his risk carefully, minimizing his downside and maximizing his potential for profit. He doesn't chase every opportunity, waiting patiently for the right moment to strike. He's not afraid to be wrong, but he learns from his mistakes, constantly refining his strategy and improving his execution. He's mastered his inner world, transforming his mind into a powerful tool for success. This trader understands that the market is a reflection of human psychology, and he uses his knowledge of human behavior to his advantage. He anticipates market movements, exploits irrational behavior, and capitalizes on the emotional reactions of other traders. He's not just playing the market, he's playing the players. He maintains his composure even in the face of extreme pressure, knowing that panic and fear are the enemies of clear thinking and sound decision-making. He has cultivated a mental fortress, impenetrable to the chaos and uncertainty that surrounds him. He's the master of his domain, and his domain extends not only to the market, but also to his own mind. He understands that true power lies not in external circumstances, but in internal control. The difference between these two traders is not intelligence or luck, it's mental mastery. It's the ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and action, regardless of the circumstances. It's the discipline to stick to your plan, even when things get tough. It's the resilience to bounce back from setbacks, stronger and more determined than before. This is the core principle of psychological warfare applied to the self. Your mind is the battlefield, and you are both the commander and the soldier. You must train yourself to withstand the constant barrage of information, the emotional fluctuations, and the external pressures that seek to erode your resolve. You must cultivate a mental discipline that is as unwavering as steel, a strategic mindset that is as sharp as a blade, and a psychological resilience that is as unyielding as a mountain. This is not a passive process. It requires active cultivation, consistent effort, and brutal honesty. You must confront your weaknesses, acknowledge your fears, and relentlessly work to overcome them. You must be willing to subject yourself to intense pressure, to test your limits, and to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. Only through this process of rigorous self-examination and relentless self-improvement can you forge the mental framework necessary to dominate your inner world and achieve your goals. Consider a chess grandmaster facing a formidable opponent. The grandmaster isn't merely calculating moves, they are engaged in a psychological battle. They are analyzing their opponent's body language, anticipating their strategies, and attempting to exploit their weaknesses. Every move is not just a tactical maneuver but a psychological probe designed to elicit a reaction, to reveal a vulnerability. The grandmaster's calm demeanor is not just a reflection of their skill, but a deliberate tactic, intended to instill doubt and uncertainty in their opponent. They are projecting an aura of confidence and control, even when they are facing a difficult situation. They are playing the game on multiple levels, not just on the chessboard, but also in the realm of psychology. They understand that the opponent's state of mind is as important as the position of the pieces. A moment of hesitation, a flicker of doubt, a sign of frustration, these are all opportunities for the grandmaster to exploit. They are constantly probing, testing, and manipulating their opponent's psychological state, seeking to gain an advantage. This is the essence of psychological warfare, understanding the opponent's mind and using that knowledge to gain an edge. Now apply this principle to your own life. Your opponent is not always another person, it's often yourself. It's your own self-doubt, your own fears, your own limiting beliefs. These are the internal enemies that seek to undermine your progress and prevent you from achieving your potential. Just as the chess grandmaster analyzes their opponent, you must analyze yourself. You must identify your weaknesses, understand your vulnerabilities, and develop strategies to overcome them. You must cultivate a mindset of unwavering self-belief, even in the face of adversity. You must learn to control your emotions, to manage your stress, and to maintain your focus regardless of the circumstances. This is the inner game, the battle for your own mind, and it is the most important battle you will ever fight. Master your inner world and you will master your external reality. Fail to do so, and you will be forever at the mercy of forces beyond your control. The choice is yours. The trap lies in believing that external circumstances dictate your inner state. The weak allow the world to define their mood, their motivation, their very sense of self-worth. A harsh word, a missed opportunity, a moment of criticism, and their carefully constructed facade crumbles, revealing the fragile ego beneath. They become slaves to the whims of fortune, tossed about by the currents of life like a rudderless ship. They react instead of respond, driven by emotion rather than reason. They are the puppets of their own fears, their own insecurities, their own unmet desires. They chase fleeting pleasures, seek validation from others, and cling to the illusion of control. But their efforts are in vain, for they have surrendered the only control that truly matters, the control over their own minds. They are prisoners of their own making, trapped within the walls of their own self-imposed limitations. They see obstacles where others see opportunities, problems where others see challenges. Their negative mindset becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, attracting failure and reinforcing their belief in their own inadequacy. They are the victims of their own inner dialogue, constantly berating themselves, doubting their abilities, and predicting their own downfall. They fail to understand that their thoughts create their reality, that their beliefs shape their destiny. They are the architects of their own suffering, the authors of their own misery. They seek external solutions to internal problems, hoping that a new job, a new relationship, or a new possession will somehow fill the void within. But the void remains, growing ever larger, consuming their energy and their hope. They are lost in the wilderness of their own minds, wandering aimlessly, searching for a path that does not exist. They are the walking wounded, the casualties of their own internal war. They blame others for their failures, resent those who have achieved success, and wallow in self-pity. They are the embodiment of the victim mentality, convinced that the world is against them, that they are destined to suffer. They refuse to take responsibility for their own lives, preferring to remain in a state of perpetual helplessness. They are the passive observers of their own existence, watching as their dreams fade away, their potential withers, and their lives become a testament to what could have been. They are the forgotten, the overlooked, the ones who surrendered before the battle even began. Their legacy is one of regret, of unfulfilled potential, of a life wasted in the pursuit of fleeting pleasures and the avoidance of uncomfortable truths. This is the path of the weak, the road to ruin, the ultimate failure of the human spirit. The alternative is to seize control of your inner world, to become the master of your own mind. This requires a ruthless self-assessment, a brutal honesty that most people are unwilling to confront. You must examine your beliefs, your assumptions, your fears, and your desires with unwavering scrutiny. Identify the weaknesses, the vulnerabilities, the self-deceptions that hold you back. Recognize the patterns of thought and behavior that lead to failure, and dismantle them one by one. This is not a pleasant process. It is akin to undergoing surgery without anesthesia, to facing your deepest fears in the cold light of day. But it is the only path to true freedom, to genuine power. To control your inner world, you must understand its dynamics, its mechanisms, its hidden agendas. The mind is a complex and often treacherous landscape, full of illusions, traps, and hidden dangers. It is a battleground where conflicting forces are constantly vying for dominance. Your job is to become the commander of this internal army, to direct its energies, to harness its potential, and to crush any opposition that stands in your way. This requires a strategic mindset, a calculated approach to every thought, every emotion, every action. You must learn to anticipate your own reactions, to predict your own weaknesses, and to develop countermeasures to prevent self-sabotage. You must become a master of self-deception, not in the sense of deceiving yourself, but in the sense of understanding how the mind can be tricked, manipulated, and controlled. This knowledge is essential for defending yourself against external influences, against the attempts of others to manipulate you, to control you, to exploit you. The world is full of predators, of those who seek to gain advantage by preying on the weak, the vulnerable, the unsuspecting. To survive in this environment, you must become a predator yourself, not in the sense of harming others, but in the sense of possessing the awareness, the cunning, and the ruthlessness necessary to protect yourself. This requires a deep understanding of human psychology, of the motivations, the desires, and the fears that drive human behavior. You must learn to read people, to assess their intentions, to anticipate their actions, and to exploit their weaknesses. This is not about being nice, about being liked, or about being popular. It is about being effective, about achieving your goals, about dominating your environment. The Machiavellian approach to self-mastery is not for the faint of heart. It is a cold, calculated, and often ruthless strategy for achieving inner dominance. It requires a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths, to make difficult choices, and to sacrifice short-term pleasures for long-term gains. It demands a level of self-discipline, self-control, and self-awareness that few people possess. But for those who are willing to embrace this path, the rewards are immense. The ability to control your inner world is the key to unlocking your full potential, to achieving your dreams, and to living a life of purpose, power, and fulfillment. It is the ultimate weapon in the arsenal of the self-made man, the secret to success in any field, and the foundation of true freedom. Embrace the darkness within, confront your demons, and emerge victorious. Only then can you truly claim your place among the elite, the masters of their own destiny, the architects of their own success. Learn to view yourself as a project, a work in progress that requires constant refinement and improvement. Identify your flaws, your weaknesses, and your limitations, and then systematically eliminate them. Seek out challenges, embrace adversity, and use every obstacle as an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The world is a testing ground, a crucible where only the strong survive. To thrive in this environment, you must become unbreakable, unyielding, and unstoppable. Develop a mental fortress that is impervious to external attacks, a shield that deflects negativity, and a will that cannot be broken. Cultivate a sense of inner peace, a quiet confidence that radiates from within, and an unwavering belief in your own abilities. This is not about arrogance, about ego, or about self-importance. It is about self-respect, about self-reliance, and about self-mastery. It is about understanding your own worth, recognizing your own potential, and taking responsibility for your own life. The Machiavellian approach is not about manipulating others for personal gain. It is about understanding the dynamics of power, the motivations of people, and the strategies necessary to achieve your goals in a competitive environment. It is about being strategic, about being calculating, and about being ruthless when necessary. But it is also about being ethical, about being honest, and about being true to your own values. The ultimate goal is not to dominate others, but to dominate yourself, to master your own mind, and to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. This requires a constant process of self-reflection, self-evaluation, and self-improvement. You must always be learning, always be growing, and always be striving to become the best version of yourself. The path to self-mastery is not easy, but it is worth it. The rewards are immense, and the alternative is a life of mediocrity, of regret, and of unfulfilled potential. Choose wisely, embrace the challenge, and embark on the journey to becoming the master of your own destiny. Remember that true power comes not from external sources, but from within. It is the ability to control your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions that ultimately determines your success or failure in life. Cultivate this power, nurture it, and protect it at all costs. It is the key to unlocking your full potential and to living a life of purpose, power, and fulfillment. The key to dominating your inner world lies in understanding the power of narrative. You are the author of your own story, the director of your own movie. What narrative are you creating? Is it one of victimhood, of helplessness, of constant struggle? Or is it one of resilience, of triumph, of unwavering determination? Change the narrative and you change your reality. Begin by rewriting the script. Identify the limiting beliefs, the negative self-talk, and the self-sabotaging patterns that hold you back. Challenge them, question them, and replace them with empowering affirmations, positive self-talk, and a vision of success. Visualize yourself achieving your goals, overcoming obstacles, and living the life you desire. Feel the emotions associated with success, the joy, the pride, the satisfaction. Immerse yourself in this new narrative and allow it to reshape your beliefs, your attitudes, and your behaviors. Surround yourself with people who support your vision, who believe in your potential, and who inspire you to be your best self. Distance yourself from those who drain your energy, who undermine your confidence, and who perpetuate negative narratives. Your environment is a reflection of your inner world. Create an environment that supports your growth, that nourishes your soul, and that empowers you to achieve your dreams. The Machiavellian approach also demands a strategic understanding of your own weaknesses. Do you succumb to procrastination? Are you easily distracted? Do you struggle with self-doubt? Identify your vulnerabilities and develop strategies to mitigate them. Create systems, establish routines, and build habits that reinforce your desired behaviors and minimize your exposure to temptation. Use your weaknesses as opportunities for growth, as challenges to overcome, and as sources of resilience. Remember that even the greatest warriors have their weaknesses. The key is to be aware of them, to acknowledge them, and to develop strategies to compensate for them. The Machiavellian leader never allows sentimentality to cloud his judgment. He assesses situations with cold, calculated logic, prioritizing effectiveness over emotional comfort. Apply this principle to your own life. When faced with difficult decisions, detach yourself from your emotions and evaluate the situation objectively. Consider the long-term consequences of your actions and choose the path that aligns with your goals, even if it requires you to make sacrifices or endure discomfort. The ability to detach from emotions is a crucial skill for controlling your inner world. It allows you to make rational decisions, to remain calm under pressure, and to avoid being swayed by irrational impulses. Cultivate this skill through meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection. Practice observing your emotions without judgment, allowing them to pass without reacting to them. With time and practice, you will develop the ability to control your emotional responses and to remain centered in the face of adversity. And finally, remember that the control of your inner world is a lifelong pursuit, not a destination to be reached. It is a continuous process of self-discovery, self-improvement, and self-mastery. Embrace the journey, celebrate your progress, and never stop striving to become the best version of yourself. The Machiavellian approach is not about becoming perfect, but about becoming more effective, more resilient, and more powerful. It is about taking control of your life, shaping your own destiny, and leaving your mark on the world. The architecture of your mind is yours to design. Rebuild it brick by unforgiving brick. Forge the mental discipline to confront harsh truths about yourself, about the world, without flinching. This is not therapy, it is psychological war. Your weaknesses are vulnerabilities waiting to be exploited by circumstance, by other people, by your own self-doubt. Identify them, understand them, and then systematically dismantle them. Do not seek comfort in delusion. Seek strength in reality. Control over your inner world begins with absolute honesty. Acknowledge your fears, your insecurities, your flaws. Only then can you begin to overcome them. Denying them only allows them to fester, to grow stronger in the shadows of your mind. Face them, confront them, conquer them. The world is not a safe space. It is a battlefield, and your mind is the most important weapon you possess. Sharpen it, hone it, make it unbreakable. Master the art of self-deception, not to deceive yourself, but to understand how others deceive themselves and therefore how they can be manipulated. Learn to read their emotions, their intentions, their weaknesses. Exploit their vulnerabilities without remorse. This is not about being evil. It is about being effective. It is about using every tool at your disposal to achieve your goals. Remember, your inner world is not separate from the external world. It is a reflection of it. By controlling your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, you can influence the world around you. You can shape your own reality. You can create your own destiny. But this requires constant vigilance, constant self-awareness, and constant self-improvement. It requires a willingness to confront your own demons, to overcome your own limitations, and to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to endure the pain? Are you willing to become the master of your own mind? The answer must be a resounding yes, because in this world there is no room for weakness, no room for self-pity, no room for excuses. There is only room for strength, for resilience, and for unwavering determination. So take control of your inner world. Master your thoughts.